It has been 12 years since I last spoke about Two and a Half Men on my channel. When I first started YouTubing, I was obsessed with the show. I watched it for hours every day and I started reviewing the episodes. And then I stopped, and I don't really know why. But last night, yesterday, I was watching. YouTube recommended some like compilation of great moments from Two and a Half Men. And I thought I'd check it out, and it kind of got me inspired to go back and watch the show again. So I don't know if I'm going to be watching it every week. I'm certainly not going to be watching it every day, but we'll see how it goes. And the episode that I watched is quite appropriately Merry Thanksgiving. I'm watching this in November. And this is the 10th episode of the first season, directed by Sandrich. And not only is it very timely, but it's a great episode to watch to get back into the show because it's the full cast, everybody together. And I have to say, it's pretty great. And I'm looking forward to rediscovering the show, seeing. I imagine there will be a lot of jokes that I didn't get when I was, 18, 19 that I might get now. So I'm keen to see what it's like. Hopefully I still love it. This one focuses on the fact that Charlie is reacquainted with a former lover, Lisa, played by Denise Richards, who is revealing that she's getting married. And Charlie decides to invite her over for this Thanksgiving dinner that they're going to put together last minute to try and convince her that he's changed, that he's a family man, that she shouldn't get married and should get back with him instead. So, of course, there we have this excuse to have everybody together for this great Thanksgiving feast. And there will be some spoilers from now. And I won't spoil everything. I won't say how the episode ends, but I will mention some things that I particularly liked. So there will be a couple of spoilers, I think, from this point on. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. They managed to convince Berta to stay instead of being with her family. Charlie pays her $1,000. And I think that this episode needed Conchata Ferrell, and I think she's absolutely brilliant. I really loved her in this. And rewatching this now, I can completely, I still feel the same way. I can see why that's the case. And we also have Judith and her parents. Her parents are played by Cristine and George Wyner. And I think it was a really good idea to have absolutely everybody together. For me, most of the comedy came from Judith, Evelyn, and Alan. I think they definitely provided the most entertainment, but everybody was absolutely brilliant. It's very atmospheric. It's definitely got this kind of tension in the air where there are unresolved issues that people start to bring up, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. It didn't get off to the greatest start, though. I feel like the discussion in the coffee shop, it went on for a little too long. It's not that it was badly written as such, but I feel like they could have tightened it up a little bit, quickened the pace a bit, and got to the main Thanksgiving feast, the meal, a little bit quicker and allowed that to play out a little bit longer. So I don't love the pacing, but in general, it's certainly not a bad episode. And it definitely had some comedic moments. And there isn't really anything, actually. I say it's funny, but I can't really say anything specific that jumps out to me as being particularly worthy of note. There were a few dry lines here and there, most of which, as I said, came from Judith and Alan and Evelyn as well. And I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Does it feel the way I remembered it? I think so. The only thing that the only new thought I had, is that I find the design of the right-hand side of the house to be really boring. The right-hand side of the set, where we have the sofa, the front room, the kitchen in the background. It's really not a satisfying set design to look at. I don't remember thinking that last time. So I'm keen to see if that's something I feel as the episodes progress. But I don't remember it being a bad set design. And in general, the shape of the house works really well. But there's just something about that when we had the scene with Alan and Charlie on the sofas, and Charlie's got this giant turkey in his lap. I was just looking at it thinking, this is a really boring set design. And it's kind of messy and not very pleasant to look at. Don't remember ever thinking that before. But in general, I don't hate it. I just don't love it. But in general, the set design is pretty good. I seem to remember them making really good use of the space. Will I stick with Two and a Half Men now that I've watched one episode for the first time in 12 years? This must be the first time I've watched a full episode in 12 years. I've certainly watched clips over the years, but I don't think I've watched a full episode since I, for whatever reason, stopped doing the reviews. And then when I watched that compilation last night, I just thought, yeah, let's see how the comedy hits, because I'll have changed as a person. My preference for comedic style will have changed. But based on this episode, I'm looking forward to rediscovering the show. And Merry Thanksgiving is a pretty decent episode.